My name is Evelyn Hart, and I'm 32 years old. If you saw me today, standing on the balcony of my penthouse overlooking Manhattan, the city lights glittering like jewels below, you'd think I have it all. And maybe I do. But every diamond I wear, every success I've built, is bought with something you can't see. Tears turn to gold. There was a time when life was simple, when I believed love was enough. When a small apartment, mismatched mugs, and shared ramen at midnight felt like happiness. That was before the world taught me that love without power is just another word for weakness. The fall. His name was Daniel Cross. He wasn't rich, but he was ambitious, the kind of man who could sell dreams with a smile. I was a marketing executive back then, rising fast, proud of what I'd earned. He used to tell me, "Eve, one day we'll build something of our own. No more working for people like your father." That dream felt so real, I invested everything I had, my savings, my reputation, even my father's business contacts, into Daniel's startup. We planned to marry once it took off. We talked about names for our kids and where we'd live. For the first time, I thought I had it all figured out. Then came the betrayal. 2 months before our wedding, Daniel disappeared. No note, no goodbye. Just gone. At first, I thought something terrible had happened. I called his friends, his family, even the police. Then I saw it, on the front page of the Financial Times. Cross Industries merges with Kensington Holdings through engagement. His picture was there, standing beside Charlotte Kensington, daughter of a billionaire investor. Daniel looked radiant, powerful, confident. And beneath that perfect smile was the same voice that once told me, "Trust me." The humiliation destroyed me. My father, furious, cut me off completely. "You were always too naive," he said. "You chose a dreamer over your own blood." Friends vanished overnight. No one wanted to be seen beside a fool who'd been conned in public. Within weeks, I lost my apartment, my job, my dignity. I started working nights at a 24-hour diner in Queens, cleaning tables and pretending not to hear customers whisper, "Isn't that the girl Daniel Cross left?" Sometimes while washing dishes, I'd see my reflection in the metal sink, eyes hollow, heart numb, and whisper to myself, "Don't die yet. You haven't finished what he started." The rebirth pain is a strange thing. It either destroys you or forges you. I chose the second path. I studied. Every night after my shift, I sat at a second-hand laptop in that dark apartment, learning everything I could: finance, mergers, corporate law, data systems. I devoured books, took online courses, and learned how power really worked. After 2 years, I built my first company, Orion Global, a digital strategy firm that specialized in rescuing failing corporations. No one knew my face. I operated through aliases, encrypted servers, and silent partnerships. Within 3 years, Orion was everywhere, in mergers, acquisitions, and negotiations. My name was no longer Evelyn Hart. I became E. Hartwell, the mysterious strategist the corporate world whispered about. And then, one day, fate brought me back to the man who'd burned me. The Return Cross Industries was in trouble. Market collapse, supplier issues, and internal fraud, the usual symptoms of arrogance. Daniel had everything once: money, status, media power. Now he was desperate. He didn't know that the anonymous investor offering to save his empire was me. The deal was simple. Orion Global would acquire their logistics branch and restructure Cross Industries in exchange for control of 51% of its shares. He agreed instantly. That night, when I signed the contract, I smiled for the first time in years. Because the signature that sealed his company's fate was written by the woman he'd betrayed. The meeting. It was at a charity gala in New York. He was there with Charlotte, the same woman he'd chosen over me. He looked older now, sharper, colder. He came over with that same charming grin and said, "Miss Hart, I've heard about your firm. We should talk business sometime." I smiled. "We already are, Mr. Cross." He frowned, and then realization hit. His pupils widened. "Evelyn?" he whispered. I just tilted my head and said, "I prefer Miss Hart now." From that moment, his empire began to collapse. Silently, elegantly, and absolutely. His investors pulled out. His accounts froze. And one morning, he woke up to realize he no longer owned the company he debuilt, because I did. The reckoning weeks later, he came to my office. No guards, no arrogance, just a man undone. Rain clung to his coat, his eyes hollow. He said, "Why, Eve? You could have just walked away." I looked at him. The man I once loved was gone, replaced by something hollow. "Because you didn't just take my money, Daniel," I said quietly. "You took my faith in people, and I had to take something back." He stared at me for a long time, then whispered, "Do you feel better now?" I smiled faintly. "No, just equal." He left that night, walking into the rain. I never saw him again. The reflection. Now, when I stand in front of my mirror, I see success. A woman powerful enough to bend the market to her will. But sometimes, when the lights fade and the city quiets, I hear my younger self, the girl who once believed in love over power. And I wonder if revenge really healed her, or just replaced her heart with something colder. The tears I shed for Daniel didn't vanish. They hardened. They turned to gold, and I wore them, not as jewelry but as armor, because in the end I learned one brutal truth. Love can make you weak, but pain makes you invincible. The end. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and share this video. Comment below which story you want to hear next. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.